Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's lesson, we are doing another coding exercises using for loops. So another possibility for for loops is to print two things simultaneously. So far we were increasing the value of I from one number to another, but it is possible to decrease its value from one number to a lower number, and we can do things simultaneously. So look at this example. We start with one for loop, and it's a bit longer for loop as you see here because two integers are defined, but it still has its three parts. So in the first part, we mentioned that int I equals 0 and j equals 5. So if you remember previously, I could tell you that we could initialize I equals 1 and we could initialize b equals 2, or we could say int I equals 1, b equals 2, simply like this. So it would be more concise. So here the warning is that because we are not using them, but it is possible, we had this in previous sections, that we could define two integers in one line. So here we are doing the same thing. We are defining the int I equals 0 and j equals 5, but the only important thing is that you don't have to forget this comma to differentiate them. Then a semicolon, meaning that the first part is finished. So upper bound and lower bound here, if we want to put, saying that, okay, we would like to I to be lower than 5, and it's a logical operator, and at the same time, j to be greater than 0. So when both conditions, because it's an AND logical operator, when both conditions are met, this part is satisfied. And in the last part, so we then have another semicolon here to differentiate the second part and the third part, and then we have the incremental value of I and decremental value of j. So we are saying that, okay, I has to increase one by one, but j has to decrease one by one. So if everything goes well, we enter the loop finally. We see out I colon space and print value of I, and then we put a comma here in the printing because we want to differentiate the I and j. And then we put j and we print the j. So it's as simple as that. So let's run. Okay, it's compiling. Okay, so let's analyze the code. So the first time that we enter the loop, I equals 0 and j equals 5, as it is printed correctly, because I starts from 0 and j starts from 5. So the first time it enters, it prints the value I and j. Then in the second iteration, I is increased and j is decreased. So I equals 1 now, it is still lower than 5, so it enters, and j is now number 4, and 4 is still greater than 0. Therefore, both conditions are met, and it is important to have both conditions being met as it is an AND logical operator. So we enter the loop again once more, and we have the I equal 1, j equal 4. So this time, this iteration is finished. Then we increase the value of I, we decrease the value of j. So now I is 2 and j is 3. Everything is passed. I is still lower than 5, j is still higher than 0. It enters this for loop again, and it prints like I equals 2, j equals 3. It finishes until it continues until I equals 4, and then j equals 1. So it prints these two values, and then when it increases the value of I and decreases the value of j, we have I equal 5 and j equals 0. And having these numbers for I and j, it will not pass for the second part of the loop because I has to be smaller than 5 and j has to be greater than 0, and they are not allowed to be even like I is not allowed to be smaller equal 5 and j is not allowed to be greater equal 0. Therefore, uh, we finish just right there when I is 4 and j is 1.